ಶರಣ ಶರಣಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು. Dear learners, welcome back to SPPS online classes. Dear students, we have started NCERT class 6, our past one, history section, chapter number 1, what, where, how and when. This is video class number 2. In this video class, we are going to discuss the remaining concept. Third one, why do people travel nowadays? Names of the land, finding out about the past, who are archaeologists and historians. So let us begin understanding the third concept. Why do people travel nowadays? Dear students, at present day we are traveling different places, visit the different places for different reasons, because of to study purpose, to visit the holy places, to get the higher education from different universities, those are located in foreign, and trading purpose, business purpose, meet to meet relatives, friends, and to join the celebrations, and to visit the holy places or sacred places. So these purpose nowadays we are traveling. What about the past people? The past peoples also, because of same reasons they were traveled, but our journey is very without great effort we are doing our journey. But in the olden days, these technological developments not occurred, so that the people have to cross the highest hills, mountains, including the Himalayas, deserts, rivers and seas. So these journeys very dangerous at that time, because of the great height of the mountain, and sometimes rainy season, and desert, crossing the desert in summer season, it is very dangerous for the travelers, but never impossible also. So who were adventurous persons, they were traveled to our Indian subcontinent, and our Indian people travel other countries also. So men and women moved in search of livelihood, and other people, they want to escape from the natural disaster like floods and droughts. To survival in the Indian subcontinent, many people who were lived on the bank of the river in the flood time, during the drought time, they search another livelihood in other place. So these purpose the people were traveled, and another, apart from these, another persons traveled, and sometimes men marched in armies also. So the kings were very powerful. They arranged the big armies. So in that armies men marched in different places to conquer the land, others land. So after conquering the lands, they started living in that area also. As well as merchants traveled with caravans means the goods van. Merchants also, for example, Saudi Arabian people traveled towards our Indian subcontinent along with the horse, camel, and the dates. So these are the some dry fruits. And our Indian subcontinent travelers visit the other foreign countries for selling spices purpose, cotton clothes, precious gems and so on. So these purposes, everyday people started their journey and reached various places. So and some people perhaps traveled driven by a spirit of adventurer. So many people started traveling for adventurous purposes, to see the new land, to see, to understand the others culture, food habits, purpose. So these purposes also people were traveled, so that all the movements of the people enriched our cultural traditions, shared new ways of carving stones, composing music, and cooking food. So not only these reasons, so many singers, dancers, sculptors, pilgrims, and religious saints, traders, merchants, these people travel towards our Indian subcontinent to visit the places. Okay, next one. And these led to the sharing of the ideas between people. For example, Indians know how to cultivate the crop like cotton, but the Chinese not. So that Chinese know about the silk produce. So that mutual they understand the particular producers, so that they shared their ideas, they shared their skills to in producing these goods, so that the culture also as well as traditions also, even the business also improved in that particular ancient period. So these are the some developments started in the ancient period, and these traveling made people got various benefits after traveling the other places. So these are the information we have got. Now we go through the names of the lands. So names of the land, two of the words we often use for our country, those are India as well as Bharat. So why we are given name for our land as India? So there is a one reason. So the name of our India came from the river Indus. So Indus is the one of the river in the northwest. At present day, we this is a Sindhu river. In Sanskrit, we can say Sindhu river for Indus river. In 2500 years ago, Iranians, Greeks who came to our India from the northwest side and called river Indus as Hindus and Indos. So Greeks, Iranians, so these people in 2500 years ago came to India from northwest part of our Indian subcontinent, crossing the one of the main river, that is Indus. So they mentioned this Indus river as Hindus or Indos. The land of the east of the river was called as India. This is the one of the reason we have given the name for our land as India. So second one, the name Bharat refers to a group of people who lived in northwest part of our India. The name Bharat, it refers to a group of people who lived in the northwest part of our India, in the Kirtar, Suleiman Hills, on the bank of the river Indus, as well as Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and Gujarat. So in these part, the people who were lived in the ancient period, they were their land is called as a Bharat. So this Bharat word mentioned in the Rig Veda. So Rig Veda, it is the one of the Vedic first book. In that book we can get the one of the word Bharat. And 3500 years ago, so this name mentioned in the Rig Veda book. So later this name was used for our country as Bharat. Now you got idea, students? Yes. Next one, we go to the sixth concept, finding out about the past. There are various sources are available to finding out about the past people's lifestyle and their culture, tradition, and so on. So one is to search for the and read books that were written long ago. So many sources are available. For example, books are available, coins are available, excavated coins are available, bones, burials, monuments, sculptures, jewelries, earthenware or clay pots, as well as books. So these are the various sources that provide information about ancient periods. So after observing these materials or after reading of the books, we can understand about past people's lifestyle. So here in this concept we are going to discuss about only two sources. One is the manuscript and another one is the inscriptions. So what is manuscripts? And one is search to for and read books that written in long ago. So these are called as a manuscripts. So long years ago some books are written, so those books are called as a manuscripts. So these books are not at present day books. So these the palm leaves, on palm leaves the handwritten scripts are available. So Manu means hand. So these were usually written on palm leaf or on the specially prepared bark of a tree known as birch tree. So dear children, so this is the one of the palm leaf manuscript. Manu means here you are observing the some of the figures are available, some of the symbols also mentioned, as well as the script also available. Script means it is a writing or writings also available on the palm leaves. And so these all the manuscript dealt with religious beliefs as well as practices. And some of the manuscripts contain details about medicine and science of their time. For example, Charaka Samhita and Sushruta Samhita and Aryabhata's some thoughts, as well as some of the poems, mythological stories. So these are all manuscripts we can observe in the archives. So archives are the libraries of the manuscripts. So all the manuscripts are kept in the library that we call archive, and they were basically epics, poems and plays. So these manuscripts give the information about the epics, poems, plays. For example, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata. So these books were written on palm leaves in ancient period. And in this manuscript we can observe the languages called Sanskrit and Prakrit. So Sanskrit and Prakrit, these are the common languages spoken in the ancient India, and Tamil, it is a ancient languages. And at present day, so the manuscripts were eaten away by insects and some were destroyed, but many have survived, and often these preserved in temples, monasteries as well as archives also. Okay, next we go through the study about the inscriptions. So inscriptions, we can also study inscriptions. Those give information about past people's lifestyle. So these writings on relatively hard surfaces such as stones and metal. Sometimes kings got their orders inscribed on so that people could see, read and obey them. So whatever king wanted to give orders, those are inscribed on the hard surfaces, because of the people who are living in the kingdom, the common people, they want to agree the rules of the king and some of the orders and obey all the orders given by the king. So these purposes, these inscribed by the kings. Okay, next one, as well as there are other kinds of inscriptions as well, where men and women including kings and queens recorded what they did. For example, battlefield victories. So battlefield victories also engraved on the hard surfaces. So here we can observe the scripts, some of the symbols and so on, and some of the letters. So many languages we can observe on the inscriptions during their ruling period of the different religious people. For example, the Hindu religion kings ruling period, they inscribed the Dravidian language or Kannada language, old Kannada language, and compared to the Muslim rulers, they engraved the Urdu languages inscriptions and so on. So these are inscriptions are available on the wall of the temples, mosque and historical places, and on the palaces, as well as we can observe these places in the some of the museums also. Okay, now you got idea with, what are inscriptions and what are manuscripts. Now we are going to discuss the difference between the manuscripts and inscriptions. So start with the manuscripts. So they are handwritten documents. So these are manuscripts are handwritten documents, and inscriptions documents are inscribed. Inscribed means they curved out on the hard surfaces. Second one, written on palm leaves and bark of the tree, and these are engraved on walls of caves, stones and rocks, and told about the lifestyle of the people and king. So ordinary people lifestyle as well as the people lifestyle, king's lifestyle, we can observe, we can read in the manuscripts. Here in the inscriptions mainly used to keep records what king deeds, and their events also. Okay, next one. And who are archaeologists? So this is the end of this video class. We are going to discuss this last concept. Archaeologists also look for bones of animals, birds and fish. So why? Because these are the sources that provide the information. So that there were many other things that were made and used in the past. For example, clay pots, those were made for cooking food. So these excavated things gives us information about our past people lifestyle. So those who study these objects are called archaeologists. Who are archaeologists, dear students? Those who study these objects are called archaeologists. They study the remaining of buildings, means remaining buildings. So made of stone and brick, paintings and sculptures, and they also explore and um, excavate to find tools, weapons, pots, pans, ornaments and coins. So archaeologists main duty is to excavate the things those are hidden in the ground. So they dig the ground or surface of the earth, and they remove the all parts of the pots, weapons and pan, ornaments and so on. So after excavating things, they scientifically find out in which period that was manufactured and who manufactured that and which purpose they were used that thing. Everything they identify. They, after excavation of the things, they examine these things, and they give the report to the historians what they understood about that particular object. So these objects that are made of sometimes hard imperishable substances, those usually survive for a long time, and some clay objects, those were not survival, because they were we are getting these clay pots in a breaked manners. Okay, so next one. And some of the bones, animals bones also important for to study about the which animals bone, and how long its lifestyle, and how it gives babies, and whether it is giving eggs or young ones and so on. Everything they are identifying by the skeleton of the animals as well as skeleton of the person. So and plant remains also survive for more rarely if seeds of grain or pieces of wood have been burnt. So some of the ashes the archaeologists found out. So these ashes also they examine, and they are providing information about which wood that was, and which food grain that was. Everything they provide the information to us. So their main duty to excavate the things and provide information to the historians to write the history of the India. So next one, here they studied the objects used in the past, study the remains of the buildings made of stone, brick, paintings and sculptures. They study about the paintings and sculptures also, and explore and excavate to find tools, weapons, pots, pans, ornaments and so on. And they look for bones of animals, birds, fish, to find out what people ate in the past. So these objects are made of bone, baked clay, metal and hard imperishable substances. So these are the few information we have got from the this concept. And archaeologists also look for bones of animals, birds, fish, to find out what people ate in the past. So these are few information we have got. And historians, so these persons are scholars who study the past, often using the words source to refer to the information found from manuscripts and inscriptions. So archaeologists' duty is excavate the things and explore the things, but historians' duty to collect the report of the archaeologist, and the literature works, and they study about those literature works, and they give the correct source for readers. Okay, so these are the duties of the historians. Once sources are found, learning about the past becomes an adventure. As we reconstruct bit by bit, so historians and archaeologists are very like detectives. So historians as well as archaeologists, we have given name for them as a detectives, means they examine, identify and provide information to us by observing the things. So who use all these sources like clues to find out about our past. So these are the few information regarding the archaeologists and historians. Now we are going to read the recapitulation of this video class. Start with the first one. Men and women moved in search of livelihood as well as to escape from natural disasters like floods and or droughts. Sometimes men marched in armies conquering other lands. So besides, merchants traveled in caravans or ships carrying valuable goods from place to place, and religious teachers walked from village to village and town to town, stopping to offer instruction and advice on the way. All this led to the sharing of ideas between people. People have shared new ways of carving stones, composing music, and even cooking food over several hundred of years. The word India comes from Indus, which means Sindhu in Sanskrit. Manuscripts were usually written on palm leaves or on the specially prepared bark of a tree known as birch, which grows in the Himalayas. So these books dealt with all kinds of subjects, religious beliefs, practices, the lives of kings, and as well as medicine and science. Inscriptions are writing on relatively hard surfaces such as stone and or metal. And archaeologists study the remains of buildings made of stones and bricks, paintings, and sculpture. They also explore and excavate to find tools, weapons, pots, pans, or ornaments, and coins. So, archaeologists also look for the bones of animals, birds, and fishes in order to find out what people ate in the past. So, in upcoming class, we will cover the more contents. Till then, bye bye. Have a nice day.